welcome to SVG-TV News for Monday, June 17, 2019. I am Yvesta Boynes with the details. The Kingston Preparatory School for yet another year has topped the Caribbean Primary Exit Assessment, the CPA, and gained 4 other positions in the top 10. The Stubbs, Richland Park and Kingston Government Schools are the 3 new surprises placing in the top 5. Our news team was at some of these schools today, and the students and teachers were all in a celebratory mood.
Shante Marshall of the Kingston Preparatory School is this country's top CPA student with a score of 96.8%. In second place was Caitlin Bobb of the Stubbs Government School with 95.6%. 3 students tied for third place with 95.2%. They are Jada Durant of the Kingstown Government School, Lazaro Lynch of the Kingston Preparatory School, and Aroma David of Richland Park Government School. Shante Marshall, an aspiring marine biologist, is also the top student for her favorite subject, social studies, scoring 100%. At her school today, Marshall and her teachers were overjoyed.
When I came first, my auntie woke me up and told me around 9 o'clock in the morning. And it was very exciting and very surprising at the same time. I only know my social studies and language. For the language, I got 98.6. I'm surprised grade 6 finished so fast. I'm very excited for secondary school.
We made it in the top 10, 5 places, top for boys, top for girls, 100% passes. What better way to celebrate? And, you know, for the past 2 weeks, there's a dark cloud with that video of the fighting. And we know that we are a great institution. We have been working extremely hard.
Caitlin Bobb of the Stubbs Government School placed second overall on the top position for English language with 98.67%. She said her hard work paid off, noting that she was always confident of excelling at CPEA.
We were in the kitchen and she was like, "CPL Results are in the country." And she was like, "Are you excited? Are you anxious?" And I was like, I'm good. We were excited when I heard that the results were in the country. I was confident I would be in the top 10. I'd like to thank all my teachers who have taught me, and I would like to give a special thanks to Miss Murray of Cutler School and Mr. Clyde Fitzpatrick, Mr. George, Mr. John, Miss Joyette, and Mr. Warrican.
Caitlin was a good and bad student. Good, bad in a good sense. She challenged you. You understand me? She usually challenge you. Teacher, why this is wrong? And you know, she usually challenge, and I love that. I love the challenge.
It was also a buzz of excitement for the students who tied for third place. Over at the Richland Park Government School, Aroma David made her teachers and parents proud as they consider it a great accomplishment for the school.
And I was in the principal's office when I found out my results. I was very happy and excited. I want to be an evangelist and a chef. I'm glad that I got to leave my primary school, and I glad that I'm going to start a new beginning. I would like to thank my teachers for being patient with me, and thank my family members and of course my classmates.
It's very historical for us here at the Richland Park Government School that Aroma, and I can say this, that it is not surprising to me that she came third overall. She's a very dedicated, committed and hard-working student.
It was a challenge, and at the same time it paid off. I am so excited. I cried when I heard about the results, because I know that God has given me the strength, the extra strength to cope. It was really a challenge, and I am grateful to God.
Jada Durant of the Kingstown Government School, who tied for the third place, was this year's top science student with 98.67%. The other third place was Lazaro Lynch of the Kingston Preparatory School.
I went in with a clear mind. I tried to relax myself, because usually when you're nervous you end up messing up a lot. And now I keep telling myself as if this is an exam, trust me, with more people than in your school.
I'll be glad to go to grammar school so I can have a better education, so I can be like someone in the community who does good to other people.
The other students who placed in the top 10 are from the Beckway Anglican Primary School, Shamoya Samuel. She is this country's top student for mathematics with 96%. A student of the Barley Government School is also in the top 10. A release from the Ministry of Education said the preliminary results indicate that the proportion of students who met the prescribed standard was 1,552, which represents 87.19%, a slight decrease from last year's 87.43%. This number includes 749 males and 803 females. The ministry further stated that 51 out of 67 schools recorded a pass rate in excess of 80%. Reporting for SVG-TV News, Larissa Pugsley-Kidd.
Meanwhile, teachers at the Stubbs, Richland Park and Kingston government schools were in awe today as they broke the long streak of not being in the top 10 at CPEA for more than a decade. At the Stubbs Government School, Principal Andrew John said all of the 30 students from the school who wrote the CPEA passed and that they were confident in the abilities of their top student, Caitlin Bob, who placed second overall.
Well, actually, I think it would have been history for now, and maybe in the past. From time in the past, it might have happened. But for recent time, we haven't had one in the top 10. So you could understand how we feel, right? But we are hoping that we could keep this, this level of performance up so that we could look forward to that next year. Actually, last year, we had a child who placed 18th. So that was just, paving the way for this. And it feels good. I keep saying it feels good.
At the Richland Park Government, Principal Carol Miller said it is the first time that the school is placing in the top 10, noting that 14 years ago they placed 13th. She said they are all proud of the school's achievement and that of their student Aroma David, who tied for third place.
School that has a lot of challenges, yet we have been striving over the years. This year we have just under 80% pass, and I'm really pleased with Aroma. It's quite a while that our school has not seen a student reaching thus far. I think it was 14 years ago that we had one student passed with an average of over 80%. She placed 13th overall and 8th for girls. And we have been waiting for some time for this day.
Another new entrance in the top 10 is the Kingston Government School. An elated Principal Tarika Jones said it is also a proud moment for the school, which for the first time secured a top 10 position.
My knowledge, the highest from my research, the highest since CPA, we're in the top 20. A child achieved about, I think, was 15th overall. Yes. Actually, I was looking for first place. I know Jada's ability, and we have other good students here, right? I know Jada's ability. She has been working consistently since I met her.
The principal said the grade 6 teachers worked long hours with the students and their parents also lent support. There are tangible benefits for SVG as a non-permanent member of the UN Security Council. So says Barrister at Law Julian Jack, who was a panelist on SVG-TV's Viewpoint program on Sunday. SVG gained a seat on the council on Friday, June 7th, after receiving 185 out of the 191 votes, prompting celebrations and questions about the benefits to the country. Jack, who also has some experience in international law and in foreign affairs, said the UN Security Council is a good outlet to establish bilateral and multilateral relations with more countries exploring investment and tourism opportunities.
Where it is and so on and what it represents. Now, this is an opportunity to, of course, put St. Vincent, as it were, on the map, very firmly. And I would say this, look, we have to look at this in the context of what is happening in terms of our national development. We have just gone to the point of investing in a major piece of infrastructure in this country to boost our tourism. Now, to boost our tourism, we need the rest of the world whether it is through bilateral relations that we will establish in the course of our presentation of the various issues to the international community, or whether it is at the multilateral level where we will interact with a number of countries, form new relationships, strengthen existing ones, and of course be able to use those relations to further benefit and promote our tourism, our trade, our development economically and overall in a macro sense.
He said the human per capita development is of crucial importance, and it is through diplomatic relations SVG has been able to receive assistance in a number of areas.
We're talking about diplomacy here, and we cannot extricate diplomacy as a bit of wine and dine and spend money overseas, and you can't quantify it or you can't justify it. When we see, let me say this contextually. When we look at building roads under the European Development Fund, when we talk about building schools under the European Development Fund, when we talk about building hospitals under the European Development Fund, when we talk about building bridges through the assistance of the Ecuadorians, when we talk about scholarships through to Taiwan or to Cuba or to Venezuela, we have to look at these as the direct result and consequence of our diplomatic craft. And people have to understand in this country that that is what it means. That's what diplomacy means at the multilateral and the bilateral level. The multilateral level means working with other countries to promote your national.
Also on the panel was educator Philbert John. John said along with the tourism possibilities, there is also an increased chance of a non-permanent member receiving aid from permanent members. He said a recent study suggested that non-permanent members of the UN Security Council received more attention from permanent members, which could translate into financial and other assistance.
I think it was done between 2004 and 2006. And they found that aid for non-permanent members, monetary aid, went up. They quoted a figure as much as by 56%. That is to say, there's a tendency for the permanent members, for example, the United States, United Kingdom, to pay close attention to the non-permanent members, particularly in the direction they wish to vote, etc., and offer them certain assistance. I don't think they want to use the word bribe, but it could be seen as bribe involved. So, but it is a serious study, and they were suggesting that non-permanent members can benefit financially just by being in association with the permanent members.
SVG is expected to take up its seat as a non-permanent member on the UN Security Council January 2020. Public Service Week 2019 kicked off today with a church service at Kingston Seventh-day Adventist Church. The activities for Public Service Week are being hosted by the Public Sector Reform Unit in the Service Commission's department under the theme, Promoting Gender and Diversity Responsive Public Services to Achieve Sustainable Development Goals. The objectives for the week of activities are to create avenues for the exchange of experiences, ideas, innovations, and good practices in the public service, to enhance professionalism and motivate public servants, to improve the quality of services delivery through the experience of citizens, and to sensitize public servants on the importance of streamlining gender and diversity. At today's church service, Acting Prime Minister Sir Louis Straker reminded public servants that without God nothing would ever be accomplished, and urged all public servants to continue to give God the glory and praise for what they have achieved.
It bothers me when we seem to think that by ourselves and through the education we have received and the training that we have received, that we sit behind the desk with a superior intellect, not recognizing that not even one eyelid can be moved without the blessing of God. We wake up in the morning, as the chairman has said, and there are many who fell asleep with us. but went from time to eternity. And because we are alive, Psalmist says, let everything that hath breath praise the Lord. And so when you sing so lustily, there shall be showers of blessing. The Lord has blessed you singularly in your ministries and individually. God has blessed you. Bless your families.
Sir Louis also urged public servants to be humble and to serve the public with distinction.
Sometimes it becomes a little onerous. Sometimes we are tempted and tried by the public. But we must remember that we are public what? Servants. We are not bosses. We are servants. You may have a little bit more education and training than the people who come in to see you. And sometimes you are tired and frustrated. And sometimes you bring your problems with you from home. And when they come to you, you suck your teeth and you walk away because they are just humble people. They cannot articulate well what they want. They cannot explain to you what is the problem. And so you look at them, you say to yourselves, even though you do not say to them, these stupid people always bother me. But we are to go out of our way when we see what they want, when they cannot articulate exactly how they want to say what they want to say or ask what they want to ask. You are to meet them halfway and be able to help them if we are indeed a public servant.
The acting Prime Minister said public servants should stop viewing politicians as adversaries and to see them instead as team players to work together to uplift St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
And you, those of you who are civil servants, you are to bear in mind that those of us in government are not your adversaries. We are not in competition. You may have your constituency, and we may have the constituency of the whole country. But we are not to behave as though we were adversaries, so that when we ask questions of you in the civil service, that you think that you have to defend yourselves against us, the politicians, or you have to sometimes lie to us or make us feel foolish because we do not have the technical information. You are to be honest with us and let us work together as partners for the same goal, the upliftment of our people and the promotion of our society. The poor ones, the rich ones, we all have to work together to lift them up and to help them along the way.
Other major activities for Public Service Week are an interministerial internship on Wednesday and Thursday and a symposium on Friday at the Peace Memorial Hall. The RSVG police force is investigating the circumstances surrounding an accident which took place in the Annesville area on Saturday. A surveillance video shows a vehicle striking pedestrian Keith Toussaint in the public works area of Annesville. According to the police, the driver of the vehicle, PV62, was heading from Kingstown along the Annesville public road when the incident occurred. Toussaint was treated and discharged from the Milton Cato Memorial Hospital. The police are continuing their investigation. The international market possesses tremendous opportunities for trade, and the national quality policy will help to ensure that local goods entering these markets are of the highest quality. So says Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Agriculture and Fisheries Raymond Ryan as he spoke at a meeting last Thursday hosted by the SVG Bureau of Standards at the Fisheries Conference Room. The meeting attracted a number of stakeholders from both the private and public sector to discuss the benefits of a national quality policy for SVG. Ryan said given the expansion of global trade and consumer expectation, Entry into these markets require greater adherence to international standards, as well as a need to show evidence of conformity through internationally recognized accreditation bodies. He said as such, the creation of an internationally recognized structure of accreditation and a national policy will bring tremendous benefits to SVG.
St. Vincent and the Grenadines cannot be left behind in this globalized economy. Therefore, the aim of the national quality policy of St. Vincent and the Grenadines is to strengthen the national quality infrastructure in order to achieve accelerated growth, increase in exports, ensure supply of safe quality products at competitive prices, and contribute to the protection of the environment. We speak a lot about climate change. The policy will provide support for the St. Vincent and the Grenadines Bureau of Standards to create, promote, and maintain a national quality infrastructure on the pillars of standards, quality assurance, and metrology.
The Permanent Secretary said the policy will also facilitate improvement in the quality of life of Vincentians and assist in fostering a culture of quality in the country.
These three pillars are vital for everyone, as this infrastructure is necessary for sustainable development and to enable developing countries such as St. Vincent and the Grenadines to effectively participate in global trading, as well as to improve the quality of life for its citizens. Additionally, the policy is meant to assist with nurturing of a quality culture in St. Vincent and the Grenadines by guiding the development and facilitating the use of an accessible, affordable, and internationally recognized demand-oriented quality infrastructure. Such a national quality infrastructure will embed continuous quality improvement principles and practices in industry, the public sector, civil society, and academia.
Meanwhile, international expert Dr. Michael Peet said although the Bureau of Standards has a particular responsibility for quality assurance, there are also other agencies of equal importance. He, however, noted that the policy must be able to address issues relating to adequate resources for these entities.
And so instead of now each individual agency having to run around trying to speak to donors and others and convince the Department of Finance, because they're always very difficult to convince, that we need these budget items and we need them on a continual basis over many years, then this is what the policy does now. The reason I focused on produce is because there is an agricultural component. And so although the Bureau of Standards has a very important role, there are other government departments here with equal responsibilities. And this is what we need now to address in this policy, to make sure that everybody understands that they're all equally important, but how do we focus their efforts so it doesn't become a competition between professionals trying to get the capacity that they need to do their jobs every day. So I hope with that very, very brief introduction you understand of what we are here to help you to do. We know that you are frustrated, you know you're frustrated. How can we use these tools to ease that frustration and move it to the levels where decisions can be made?
Carnival Beat is coming right up.
All right.
Owen Ralph and the Professionals Mass Band will be presenting Take Another Look for Vincy Mass 2019. The band leader, Verlene Ralph James, told our team that the reason for the theme is more of a tribute to her ailing father.
We have 7 beautiful sections. We have sections like for the kids, we have colorful kids, that's the girls. For the boys, we have Robin Hood. We have good and evil, that's the male section. Peace and love, beautiful ladies, nature, and of course life. Take another look at life. Okay, well, being that my dad took ill, well, we set out on a journey to bring this band, and halfway through it he took ill, and he's not in a good place right now. But then, so I decided to come up with this simple topic because I figured that it was just simple enough and it was less headache.
Ralph James said it has been quite challenging thus far getting ready for Vincy Mass. However, she is confident their hard work and sacrifice will pay off.
Okay, some of the challenges are sponsorship. The band, we don't get enough, small bands, we don't get enough sponsorship from the business sector. And again, people, the masqueraders, they don't want to pay for the costume. They don't want to pay the full amount. I mean, the band leaders, we work hard in bringing our production, and then by the end of the day, masqueraders, they don't want to pay the full cost of the costume. Well, last year we wasn't in the top 3, you know, but our band, we've been in existence since 1981. We were traditional, and then we changed over to fancy. So this year, looking at my production, I think I stand a very good chance of being in the top.
The Owen Ralph and the Professionals band leader is inviting masqueraders to be a part of their mass band experience this year.
Okay, I just want to say I'm inviting one and all to come out and play mass with us. You know, our costumes are very reasonable. Kids, 150, adults, 300, 350, and it's negotiable. So we're just asking people to basically come out and enjoy the carnival, play mass, and come and register with us. Okay. We're located in Sion Hill, Mala Village, formerly the old Panyard. And if you need to reach me, you can reach me at 593-6940. I think I'm done.
All right.